Hey guys, so I'm back with a video, and it seems like only when Halloween news comes around I'm making videos. Well, I've been doing a lot of personal videos in the meantime, working with Low Res Wonder Bread, a great channel that you should tune into, so give them a subscribe. And Halloween has wrapped production. That's right, just about 4 weeks and change later, the Halloween new film has wrapped production. And I know in my last video I was talking about how excited I was for it, and I was pretty sure that there was going to be a 4.5 week production schedule, and I was right. The reason this is great is it harkens back to independent filmmaking. Now with Blumhouse Pictures and Roughhouse Pictures making this movie primarily, it still is that independent kind of feel to it. This is great, and I think it's a big contrast from the Halloween films of past in that this really does feel like a small indie film again. And maybe I would have felt the same way if I was paying a little bit more attention when Rob Zombie was making his first Halloween movie back in 2007. But the fact of the matter is that was a Platinum Dunes thing, or at least I think it was. Or it was the Weinstein thing, and let's not get into that. But the point being that back then, there really was more of a studio vibe, I think, going on even with the Rob Zombie films. Especially since some of his commercial successes were studio releases. These are definitely studio bound, but they're smaller, and I think the production was just very focused. There's a lot of great material out online, behind the scenes footage, pictures, and everything you can find just by going on Instagram or going on any of your social media websites, really. And I think that was a cool kind of glimpse behind the scenes that we've never really been able to get with a Halloween movie. And that's something that I'm kind of grateful for this time around. We never really had this, even when Rob Zombie was going about his business doing things. The internet really wasn't what it was. Yeah, even in like 2009 when he was doing his last one. Just leaps and bounds different in how we communicate things these days. And I was really pleased to see a lot of the things going on behind the scenes here. There seemed to be a lot of cheer, excitement, and some real passion going into this. And I like how most of the cast and crew was pretty communicative with a lot of the stuff behind the scenes. We had Nick Castle as Michael Myers posting a lot of cool teases at the character. There's one in particular where he showed a shadow of himself on the wall in his Michael Myers costume, but without revealing what the mask looks like. And that was great. That was cool. That was a fun and ominous tease as to what we're going to get. We also had one where he seemed to have some burn makeup on his hands, and that was really cool too. And then we had some stuff here and there from some of the production team and whatnot, and I gotta say, they shot this in Charleston, South Carolina, and based on some of the pictures that I saw, they have a great setup that really mimics South Pasadena as Haddonfield, Illinois quite well. Now, I can't be positive, but it looked like toward the end of the shoot, within the last week or so, they went back to Southern California. My theory is that they are going to get some pickup shots of the original locations because some of us diehard fans might enjoy that quite a bit. I mean, I know I will. I was hoping they would shoot in South Pasadena and whatnot, but with film taxes and the way they are, out in California especially, I'm okay with South Carolina being the home to Haddonfield. I mean, Salt Lake City was the home to Haddonfield in the late 80s, and that worked out pretty well. And I think, especially based off some of the production stills or behind-the-scenes footage or pictures I saw, this has a great look to it. They shot it in a really cool district of the city, and it has that old kind of colonial/Victorian look to the houses that some of the old ones do in the original films. And that was great, and I think it was a great eye by the production scout team, the location scouts and whatnot. So what I'm trying to say is that this production looked like it was really well put together. And that can happen, and you can still get a bad movie. I mean, I would say a good number of the Halloween films that have turned out pretty bad might have had a fun or smooth production, even Rob Zombie's films. That said, I just think we have a very competent team here. David Gordon Green, Danny McBride, maybe not proven in the horror world per se, or not as proven as they want to be, but very apt filmmakers in general. We're talking about David Gordon Green, a guy who's made some pretty serious dramatic work over the last couple of years. I mean, I really liked Joe with Nicolas Cage, then Stronger is a bit of a hometown hit for people like me from New England and Massachusetts, but that was critically acclaimed in its own right. And they've got somebody who is just a master filmmaker and actually a born filmmaker here. We're not talking about commercial kind of filmmakers like Rob Zombie was, or even some of the guys in the 80s and 90s. I think the difference is we have here somebody that has been dedicated to the craft for pretty much his life. He didn't kind of transition into this. David Gordon Green has always been a director. Danny McBride has always been a pretty talented writer. He's just got this persona as this kind of raunchy, funny guy. But beneath the surface, I think we have something with a lot of potential here. And, well, obviously, but I do like the enthusiasm again going around about this Halloween film. I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis seemed to be having a blast on this, and everybody's just insisting they love the take and the direction that the film took, and that it's going to be very fun and scary. And I just think, especially with the unknown cast, a generally unknown cast minus maybe a couple of actors, we've got a sense of indie film again, a sense of a small film that could, kind of with the original. And this just makes it a lot more exciting to me. We're 8 months out from this, so I'm really thinking we got to get a teaser in like maybe 2 months or 3 months. I think they want to tease us with some advance time. I mean, that would only be savvy, right? You don't want to tease us in July at like Comic-Con or something like that, and then have the movie come out, what, 10 weeks later? I don't know, but it depends on how much they're going to put into the ad campaign with this movie. Thing is, though, the production looks to have went swiftly. I haven't heard of any kind of chaos behind the scenes. With all the access to behind the scenes footage and actors, actresses, production crew putting their stuff onto social media, it looks like it's gone quite swimmingly in that the production design has been pretty cool and everything seems to have been going really well with this. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is that I think it's going to be a good movie, and God, I hope it's going to be. I think the last icing on the cake I really need to get for Vindication is hearing any kind of tease of John Carpenter's score for the film, or his tentative score, assuming that still goes through. But anyway, I'm really excited to see this movie come into fruition, and we need a teaser like now, because they finished production, now they're going to go into post, and they have 8 months, actually from today, to get it out. So, just sound off, guys. I mean, what caught your eye if you were looking behind the scenes at this movie, and there are any things that stuck out you didn't like, or did like, or that you were kind of meh about? But anyway, I think we've got something really dedicated, indie, and just very hands-on here that is going to translate to a good film. Now, that could be wrong, and this could be a flop, but hey, I'm going to keep up hope, because I don't think anybody thought this movie was actually going to happen. But hey, it has, and it's going to, and it's set in stone, shot, ready to go. Pretty much, let's get a teaser by May. And alright guys, sound off. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.